getting you ready for game time. Join me, Sal from Behind the Arc Basketball, as I announce play-by-play. Make sure to smash the like and subscribe, because now we're about to go live. Entering the pregame, we now present Sal from Behind the Arc Basketball. And what's good, everybody? Glad to have you guys in the stream being a part here tonight once again. Good matchup in store tonight in the Big Ten as we get the ranked number 21 Indiana Hoosiers on the road to take on the Maryland Terrapins in this matchup here. Both of these teams looking to trend upwards, not only in the conference, but also in the rankings, or get back into the rankings in the case for Maryland. If you guys are new in the stream, hit the thumbs up, spike the like, hit the subscribe, and a big one tonight here. Maryland 11-1 on their home floor this season. They come in 3-point favorites on the line with the over-under being at 139.5. Indiana playing lights out as of late for the Hoosiers. They're currently in the second longest winning streak right now out of all the Big Ten teams. They won 5 in a row. That's number 2 to Purdue, who's won 8 straight now in a row, and Indiana been on an absolute tear as of late with Trace Jackson Davis putting up monster numbers lately for TJD, averaging 19 and 10 this season for what he looks to appear to be the first team All-American for Trace Jackson Davis on a 5-game winning streak right now for Indiana, coming off a big double-digit victory on Saturday by 16 over Ohio State. Kelly, Bryce, Alex, glad to have you guys on board being a part here on the stream for this one, and hopefully a great game going down between these two teams. I think probably going to be a little bit delayed into this game. Arkansas is still going on with Texas A&M, so I'll get up the scoreboard here until that game finishes up. Yeah, hopefully a great matchup today in this one. Indiana's been shooting the ball well from 3. They got a lot of perimeter guys on their team. Indiana's in-state rival Purdue, yet to play Purdue, but man, massive matchup, I know, on Saturday between Indiana and Purdue. Looks like tip-off will begin in about 10 minutes. We'll tip off this game, so they have just updated it. Tip-off will be at 9:10 p.m. Eastern Time. Taking a look at the college basketball scoreboard, currently Alabama bouncing back in a big way against Vanderbilt right now, 27-10 for Bama, coming off that crushing loss on the road at Oklahoma on Saturday. Kansas in the Sunflower Showdown Part 2, looking for revenge at K-State. That's what they're doing right now at the Allen Fieldhouse. Number 8 Kansas up over number 7 K-State, 49-37. How about this shocker right here? Boston College, home court, going to come up with a victory over number 20 ranked Clemson today. Clemson has been playing a lot of close games as of late for their team, and basically they're just like the Minnesota Vikings of college basketball this year. Lucky to be into the top 25 for Clemson. And right now, Clemson, this will be it for them this week in the top 25. Bad loss on the road at BC as this game is about to go final. Boston College will come up with a victory against Clemson tonight. UConn looking to bounce back. They lead at the half over DePaul, 46-33. Miami will close it out against Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech's been hot as of late. They got Hunter Couture back, their perimeter shooter. They've been dealing with injuries. They were able to beat Duke a week ago, but a tough road game there at Miami. Miami's been great at home. They put up 92 against Vatech, 92-83 down to the final 2 seconds. And this game currently going on that we got before Indiana, Maryland, it is Arkansas, Texas A&M right now. Arkansas holds on to a 70-64 lead with 3:45 left to play. Toivo, welcome back to the stream. Thanks so much for joining in, bud. And Duke's margin of error, it's closing the gap right now with Wake Forest. That game's over on ESPN. Duke is up only by 4. They held on to a double-digit lead a little bit ago, but the score now just 70-66 against Wake Forest, down to the final minute and a half. So we'll keep you guys posted. A lot of key games here finishing up in this one. I'm going to go for the upset in this game, so everybody going out for the Terps in this game. Indiana's been playing hot as of late, so I'm going to go against the crowd on this one and just go for the unpopular opinion and take Indiana in this matchup. I think it's going to come down to like 1 or 2 possessions, though. Really close. Wow, Arkansas has got 11 blocks against Texas A&M. So I've got Indiana by 3 for my prediction. I think it was 71-68. Trace Jackson Davis man, he's been playing on an elite level for him. And Indiana's got healthy right now. They play Purdue after this game. That's massive. Rivalry game in state. That game's at home for Indiana. So after this, they got Purdue, Rutgers, and then at Michigan for them. So that's like a legit stretch that they have. I got to see Maryland in person back in November. They were an absolute scoring machine. They put up over 80 against Miami. I think, like, what we see, like, the teams that's ranked in the back half of the ACC, basically, like, the equivalent of the middle of the Big Ten with some of those teams. Or, like, the middle bottom. Like, that's, like, how poor the ACC has been this season. It's been... it's been just really shocking seeing some of these ACC teams get ranked, considering, like, signature wins, to, like, not picking up many good wins in a non-conference slate, to picking up, like, wins against conference opponents, but just a good record. UNC probably would be around, like, 9 or so right now for UNC. Yeah, Clemson's the conference leader out in the ACC, and they had a bad loss today in the road at Boston College. That game going final. BC winning 62-54 against Clemson. So in my opinion, I got Virginia as the top team in the ACC. Tough place to play yesterday against Syracuse, able to come in and pick up a win. UNC picked up a much-needed win at Syracuse, too. Vaughn, welcome back in. Just wrapping up this Arkansas-Texas A&M game. 1:36 left to go. Arkansas looking to close it out at the free throw line. We're going to tip off in about 4 minutes from now. If we don't have it up yet, we'll just keep you guys posting the scoreboard. Yeah, great question. That's a really good game between Kansas and Xavier. I go Kansas. Kansas just more... like, they played, like, one of the toughest schedules in America for Kansas. They've been challenged by multiple opponents this year. Also, Xavier's got a significant injury. Zach Fremantle, their top front court player, he's out now for about a month. So I think that was announced today. So Zach Fremantle going to be missing some time for Xavier. That's a significant loss. Yeah, so he's going to miss 4 weeks now due to a foot injury for Zach Fremantle. That's a huge loss. They play at Providence tomorrow. Oh, man, sorry to hear that there, Vaughn. Oh, geez, so sorry to hear that, bud. Yeah, just hopefully things become better for you there, man. This could turn into a defensive battle today. Both of these teams really good on the defensive side of the floor this season. Indiana, though, with everybody healthy, the scoring numbers have ticked up for the Hoosiers as of late. And they've been on a roll. We're going to see tonight that this team's legit. If they're able to come into College Park, pick up a victory. Maryland 11-1 this season at home. Only lost by 3 at home against top-ranked Purdue. In Indiana, they picked up wins over Wisconsin. That road win at Illinois from 2 weeks ago, that was massive. They won by 15 at Illinois, and then they won by 13 hosting Michigan State. They were without their head coach for the game against Minnesota, won by 4 at Minnesota. And then big response with a 16-point win Saturday against Ohio State, 86-70. Whereas Maryland as well, they've turned a corner. Winners of 2 straight in a row. Wisconsin's really dropped down, so both of these teams able to pick up wins lately over Wisconsin, and then pounding Nebraska on Saturday for Maryland. That 3-point loss at Purdue, one against Michigan. On the road, they've struggled this season. They got pounded to start off the year at Michigan, but redeemed themselves 2.5 weeks later, beating Michigan at home. It's up to you. I recommend showing up to class, though. Probably the best thing to show up to class. If you guys are new in the stream, make sure to hit the thumbs up, spike the like, hit the subscribe. Going to tip off in a couple moments from now. Maryland comes in 3-point favorites on the line tonight. Over under set at 139.5. Going to tip off in a few moments. Wake Forest currently out of the bracket. They've picked up a couple key home victories in ACC play, but in terms of opportunities that they've had on the road, they haven't been able to pick up any key wins in the road for Wake Forest. So yeah, they're out of the bracket right now. 73-66, Duke leading Wake Forest with under 45 seconds left. Just awaiting for the Arkansas-Texas A&M game to wrap up. Arkansas leading Texas A&M 73-67, 1:17 left to go. Zap Pipe, welcome in. Best of luck there for the 1K on this one for Maryland. And that poll right now pretty even, so make sure to vote in that poll who you guys got in this one here. Maryland or Indiana? Trace Jackson Davis, the key player to watch. First team All-American selection most likely for Trace Jackson Davis, as he's averaging 19.6 points per game, 10.7 rebounds per game, putting up monstrous numbers as of late. Had a massive game last week against Minnesota. Top scorer this season for the Terps, that is Jahmir Young right now, scoring 16 points per game, over 3 assists per game for Jahmir Young. Bill Self, yeah, he'll probably go on for another decade or so for Bill Self. Arkansas trying to wrap up this one against Texas A&M as they approach the final minute left to go. DJ, welcome in. Yeah, Indiana coming on to a 5-game win streak they enter this game. So yeah, we're just awaiting for this to start on my TV screen. I'll update with the score at first. Right now I got Arkansas, Texas A&M in the final minute, and then they'll switch over to the game. So it looks like they tipped off. So we got 3-2 right now as Maryland just scored again. It's Arkansas, Texas A&M down to the final minute before we can get a video feed over here since they changed it to ESPN2. But Jahmir Young, all 5 points so far from Maryland, made a 3 to start off the game. Looks like he got another bucket. Wow, this game's already like 2 minutes in so far. No falls so far. 5-2 Maryland. These SEC games go super long. Like, so many falls in these SEC games that happen. Yeah, Arkansas should be able to close this out with no problem. Up by 9, down to the final minute. And Texas A&M missed the layup. It did go out of bounds, though. Texas A&M will get it back with 49 seconds. Oh my gosh, they put up an official review on this Arkansas-Texas A&M game, so the game is still going on. Indiana just scored. Race Thompson got the bucket. So it's 5-4 now with around 17 minutes left to go. As we're just awaiting for Arkansas versus Texas A&M to wrap up so we can get into the play-by-play of this one. If you guys are new in the stream, hit the thumbs up, spike the like, hit the subscribe, and cover basketball action, play-by-play, both college hoops and the NBA. Duke looking to close it out against Wake Forest, down to 20 seconds left, 75-68 Duke. TCU right now playing West Virginia. We'll keep you guys posted on a lot of these scores currently, as Kansas up at halftime over K-State 49-37, and Alabama, big bounce back game, responding in a monster way. They are destroying Vanderbilt tonight, 40-12 Alabama. We got 7-7 now to score, so trading buckets. A 3-point shot, good by Miller Kopp for Indiana. Hakeem Hart with a layup. Yeah, that was crazy. I think they were down by like 22 points. It's insane. Arkansas putting up a block fest today against Texas A&M, down to the final 37 seconds. Seems like there's a whistle like every 10 seconds or so in this matchup. But that's now double-digit blocks for the Hogs. Wow, they're up to 13 blocks tonight. Yeah, they're dominating Vandy right now. Wow, so this game already went over the first 5 minutes of Maryland, Indiana. Media timeout, 14:57 left to go between Maryland and Indiana. This Arkansas-Texas A&M game going at snail's pace right now in the final 31.3 seconds. What's good, Patrick? Welcome in from Jamaica. Thanks so much for stopping by. Wow, you got to credit the hustle for this Texas A&M team that they're going to battle for every single Second here, remaining in the game. 18.6 seconds left to go as Texas A&M picks up a fall in the backcourt. And will send Arkansas back to the free throw line. I actually think there's a version in Spanish that I can put up too. Didn't even notice that. So I'll just do that until they finish up Arkansas, Texas A&M. King Markey, welcome in. Things going well. Jameer Young with 5 so far for Maryland. Hakeem Hart with 2, and then 3 points by Miller Kopp as he made a 3, 2 each by Trace Jackson Davis already with 3 rebounds, and then 2 points by Race Thompson for Indiana. Oh, man, sorry to hear that, King Markey. Get better there, bud. All right, Arkansas just won over Texas A&M, so that game wraps up 81-70, the final score for the Hogs. Much needed win. Texas A&M came into that game with a record of 7-1 in conference play, and Arkansas bouncing upwards, now 4-5 in the conference as they've won 3 straight SEC games. So we come back from the media timeout right now. Maryland 11-1 this season, 8 straight Big Ten home wins dating back to last season here at College Park. Indiana coming in red hot, winners of their past 5 straight games. Trace Jackson Davis averaging 25 and 13 in the last 5 games. 5 straight victories since they started off Big Ten play at a 1-4 record. Inbound underneath their hoop now for Maryland. Maryland white uniforms, red numbers, red letters for this matchup. Indiana red uniforms, white numbers, white letters. Maryland left to right on the floors. They have the basketball with 14:45 left to go. Top of the key, it is Jameer Young. Young at the top, crossover, attacks right to the paint, floats it up with the left hand. He scores up and in off the backboard. Big response back from the timeout there for the Terps as they take the 9-7 lead. 14.5 left to go here in the first half. Hoosiers with a possession as they take it past midcourt, attacking downhill. Oh, nice pass over to Trace Jackson Davis. He scores at the rim for 2. Already with 4 points so far to 9 for Trace Jackson Davis. 3 rebounds as well. As we approach the 14-minute mark left to play here in the first. Lob goes over to the elbow for Maryland. They back their way to the low block, working on Trace Jackson Davis. Pivot move, Julian Reese puts it up and scores up and in off the glass. Back and forth, trading buckets early on as Indiana has the possession. Jalen Hood-Schifino been tremendous as a freshman, top 20 recruit from Pittsburgh, PA. He has it at the right wing, dribbles up to the elbow, cross-court pass, finds Trey Galloway. Inside the key, slides it over to Miller Kopp, turns the corner, floats up the runner. That drops through for 2 by Miller Kopp. Buckets keep on coming in this matchup right now, even at 11. Under 13.5 left to go before halftime. Hakeem Hart inside the paint. Swings it out to the wing. Young, extra pass. Corner 3 in the air. Missed by Maryland, off the mark by Martinez. And the defensive board pulled down by Trace Jackson Davis. Indiana has it at the top. Hood-Schifino, bounce pass down low. Draws the contact and the blocking foul. And 2 free throws coming up at the line by Race Thompson now for Indiana. Clock will stop, 13:07 left to go in the first. First free throw, that's good. Second shot by Thompson right down the middle. So both of these teams scoring opportunities, making the most out of them so far. Really been able to come to play today inside the paint in this game, approaching the 13-minute mark left to play in the first. Dante Scott sends it out to the left corner. From Maryland, it's Noah Batchelor. First time into the game, backs his way, low block, slides it out to the wing. Here's a three by the Terps. Missed off the rim by Scott. Defensive rebound pull down by Jackson Davis. That's his 5th board so far in the game. To the first 6.5 minutes. Deflected pass stole away. Hakeem Hart comes out with a steal for Maryland. Down the far side of the floor for Hart. He'll dribble up to the top. Hart drives. Stops at the elbow. Draws the contact and the foul. And Hakeem Hart now will shoot 2 at the line. So that'll be picked up by Malik Renault, his first. Maliko, welcome on back. $12:29 left to go in the first. 2 free throws here at the line for Malik Hart of Maryland. And the first one's good. Second shot, and that one's good. Indiana looking for a response here past midcourt. They have number 53, Tamar Bates, first time into the game. A great perimeter shooter with Bates this season. Jordan Geronimo also on the floor, number 22. Bates over to Trey Galloway, passing down low. Shot gets blocked, though. Malik Renault couldn't finish the rim. Nice defensive stop there for the Terps. Scott sends it on top. Back to Scott at the wing from the pass by Long. Over to Jahari Long. Sends it out to the top of the key. Hart takes a deep range 3. Missed off the back rim. Offensive rebound goes right back into the hands of Long. Long, open 3 off the jab step. Missed the 3, skipped around the rim and out. And Trace Jackson Davis comes up with rebound number 6. 4.6 boards, not even midway through the first half so far. For TJD. Galloway. Off the cop. Back into the hands of Galloway, edge of the Maryland logo. 11.5 left to go in the first. Over to Bates at the Xfinity Center logo. Bates dribbles, drives, jumper, mid-range, tough shot. He drills it. Tamar Bates in the board for 2, coming off the bench. Hand in the face, rising up for the J. Tough shot. Averaging 8 points per game. This is a extremely deep Indiana team. Jackson Davis will do the bulk of the scoring, but after that they got multiple players averaging around 8 and 7 on this roster for Indiana. Jumper from the perimeter missed by Maryland. That's their struggling spot this season. Perimeter shots. Lob down low off the fingertips of Jackson Davis. They are able to get the basketball back. Couldn't finish the rim. Trace Jackson Davis throwing it down. They will not count it though, as there'll be a whistle to fall before on the shot. So that was the shot attempt by Malik Renault. We're going to head to the timeout though. I believe there should be 2 free throws coming up at the line after timeout by Renault. We're down to around 11 minutes left to go in the first. Indiana 15, Maryland 13, as we'll be back in a few. Yeah, great start so far in this game. We got 25 plus watching right now. If you guys are new in the stream, hit the thumbs up, spike the like, hit the subscribe. And yeah, hit us up in the chat who you guys are rooting for in this one tonight. Indiana, Maryland, and Trace Jackson Davis making his impact on the glass. Just this type of matchup. Maryland's not that big down low, so this is a matchup here that TJD can drive upon. And already we're seeing it right now. 6 rebounds, 4 points by Trace Jackson Davis. Perfect 2 for 2 from the floor. Miller Kopp with 5. And then 4 by Reese Thompson. For Maryland, 7 points by Jameer Young, 2 by Julian Reese, 4 by Hakeem Hart so far. Italiano, welcome back in. Indiana thriving, though, with their interior scoring. 6 for 11 shooting at 54.5% right now. Maryland jacking up way too many threes. And to begin with, they're not a strong perimeter shooting team. They're at the bottom of the Big Ten in three-point shooting. And right now, the Terps just 1 for 9 from 3. Indiana plus 2 in the glass, currently 8-6. So Maryland 11-1 at College Park in this matchup. Only lost this season at home against Purdue on their home floor. So they lost by 3. Other than that, they've won 8 straight games. 8 straight games. Other than that, against Big Ten opponents at home. Besides that loss. Oh, yeah, they lost at Purdue, They lost at Purdue by 3, so check that, actually. But, yeah, 11-1 in their home floor this year, undefeated against Big Ten opponents. Oh, it's UCLA. They got crushed against UCLA. That was the game right there, so that's dating back to December 14th. Bradley, welcome back in, man. Yeah, great question. That's a really good matchup. I'd probably go with Tennessee in that matchup. Tennessee's been playing really well lately for them. Kansas looking for redemption tonight. Kansas up over K-State 61-50. And the Sunflower Showdown Part 2 tonight. Alabama, big bounce back for them. They are destroying Vanderbilt right now, 43-15. Yeah, there's been times, though, that Tennessee hasn't shown up in the past historically in the tournament. We're going to have free throws here at the line. 2 of them for Indiana. First one is good. Second free throw by Malik Renault, and that is good as well. So 4-point lead right now for Indiana. Maryland at the right wing perimeter. Hakeem Hart moves it on top over to Scott. Makes the pass out to his left to Jameer Young. Young off the pick set by Reese. Slides it off to Scott. Dante Scott free throw circle. Sends it back over to Hart. Out to the top. Scott takes a 3 off the back rim. Miss tipped up. And a rebound offensively. It goes back to Jameer Young. So they'll set it up now with a new 20. 10-20 remaining in the first. Maryland trailing by 4. Backing your way into the mid-block. Now to the key, turnaround shot, swoosh. That goes through. Dante Scott, great patience right there inside the key as he makes it for 2. And that's where they got to go from Maryland. They are 1 for 10 right now from 3. Interior scoring was doing well early on, and then they started to jack up a bunch of threes, and they're lucky that they're in this game right now, only down by 2 despite missing 9 3-point shots. Open 3 straight away. That rattles through for Indiana. And they got shooters in this Hoosiers team. 5-point lead for Indiana. That's a 3 make by Trey Galloway from the top of the key, left out in the clear. Jameer Young inside the paint, puts it up, missed off the back rim, and a rebound tipped up down the near side, picked up by Galloway. Out to the top, they got space once again. Renault, bounce pass down low, up and through. It's good for 2. Nice little extra pass right there for IU. Caleb Banks has position behind the defense, scores up and in off the backboard in Indiana. Hot start they've got right now for the Hoosiers, firing on all cylinders. 22-15 they lead with 9:19 in the first. Kevin Willer burns a timeout right now for Maryland, and this Hoosiers team, they are rolling lately. They are healthy, and they are playing well and connected together. That was a beautiful pass inside the paint. They could have easily just jacked up a 3, but instead they drove to the rim. They bounced it underneath, and they had possession behind the defense. Beautiful dime that they were able to get there in that assist. Really working the offense to perfection right now, shooting the ball 61.5% from the floor for Indiana, 8 of 13 currently. And they're the better perimeter shooting team in this matchup. They get a couple players in their team shooting the ball around 39% or greater this season out on the floor. Quick update in the Kansas K-State game, 64-54 Kansas leading with under 13 minutes left to go. We come back to action, 7-point lead for Indiana. Maryland with the basketball. The Terps have it around the perimeter. Indiana 9-2 run as of late. Ian Martinez hands it off top of the free throw circle to Julian Reese. Backs his way, Hakeem Hart. Passes down low. Thunderous dunk. Throwing it down with a two-handed dunk. That is Julian Reese. Massive dunk right there to pull win in 5. That's going to get the crowd riled up here. Get something going in College Park. Beautiful straight line cut to the hoop by Julian Reese. Off the assist by Hakeem Hart. And the foul. There's a late whistle too, and the foul. So 1 free throw here at the line for Reese. And he missed it. Off the front rim, no good. Rebounded by Trace Jackson Davis. TJD so far. 4 points and now up to 7 rebounds, all defensive boards. Indiana's got 1 at the scorer's table, about to check in during the next timeout. Hoosiers with a possession. Bates lobs it over to Trace Jackson Davis. Kicks it out to the corner into the hands of Renault. Renault at the left wing perimeter. Hands it back over to Galloway. Galloway drives inside the key, swings it out to the wing. Banks takes a 3, missed off the back rim. And the rebound pulled down by Scott. Under 8.5 remaining in the first now. Dante Scott at the top. Slides it out to the left wing, and now at the baseline. Jab step from Maryland. They will dribble up to the elbow. Handoff, Young, bounce pass. Jumper, mid-range off the mark, missed by Reese. Offensive rebound, though. He got called in the push-off. That will be offensive on Julian Reese as he picks up the rebound foul. So tried to go up for the board. Reese, though, pushed off on the offensive rebound, and the ball will go back to Indiana. 30+ watching. Thanks so much all for joining in. If you guys are new, hit the thumbs up, spike the like, hit the subscribe. I cover basketball action here on the channel, play-by-play, of both college hoop and also NBA games. We're going to approach the 8-minute mark left to go. 5-point lead here for Indiana. They get the basketball. Top of the key, Race Thompson. Thompson dribbles up, slides it out to the right wing. They will back their way, down low block with Malik Renault. Slides it off to Hood Shafino. Floats up the runner off the rim. Bounced off twice. No good. Defensive rebound hauled down by Jameer Young from Maryland. Down by 5 at home for the Terps. Looking to see if they can start something. Open 3. Swoosh. That will start something. Dante Scott from downtown drills it. And that's only their second made 3 tonight right now by Maryland. 7.5 left to go before halftime. But that's a big, big triple there. Wide open by Dante Scott at the right wing. Bates will slow it down. Sends it off to Hood Shafino. He's been tremendous, especially since the point guard main player has been out. Been tremendous with Xavier Johnson with his absence as Indiana goes down low, able to score. Number 5, Malik Renault for 2. 7 minutes left to go now. Indiana 4 less shots than Maryland so far. 20 attempted shots by the Terps, 16 attempted shots by the Hoosiers. Backing their way, low post, turnaround jumper, missed off the front rim by Scott. Offensive rebound, another chance. Straightaway 3, laser beam. That time it drops through by Jameer Young. And they struggle from 3. Missed their first 9 threes out of 10 shot. 1 for 10 to start things off from the floor. Maryland back-to-back 3s they have made. That one a massive one off the offensive rebound. It's Mike Woodson here. We'll take a timeout on the floor for Indiana. 6:34 left to go in the first right now. Indiana 24, Maryland 23. Yeah, this has the makings to be a close game tonight. Both of these teams have been playing really well as of late. Indiana, 5-game winning streak. Maryland, they've won their last 2, starting to turn a corner themselves. And we got a ball game right now. Vegas, welcome back in. Taking the Terps tonight in this one. Hit us up out in the chat. Who you guys got tonight in this game? Hoosiers or Terps? Type it in if you guys would like. And glad to have you guys find the stream tonight. Yeah, I heard about that. Zach Fremantle's out for about a month now. That's a massive loss. Yeah, so it tilts into the Friars' favor for tomorrow. If Providence, the disrespect this year to Providence on the betting line has just been ridiculous. Like if Providence comes in tomorrow as the underdog, That's just ridiculous. I bet you it would not shock me to see Providence as the dog tomorrow in that game. Despite Providence being at home and then Zach Fremantle missing, he won't be playing tomorrow for Xavier. Yes, I see Indiana getting better the next few years. What I really like about this team, looking at the roster before I cover tonight's game, it's the roster depth that they have. Right behind Trace Jackson Davis, because TJD does the bulk of everything. Double digits in scoring and rebounding, and also averaging around 3.5 assists per game as well for him, so playmaking too. But right behind, they have one other player, Jalen Hood-Schifino, who's been tremendous this season. As a freshman, he's scoring around 13. And then after that, they got multiple guys scoring around 8 and 7 on the roster. And players that can shoot the ball well. Oh, yeah, that's right. Check that. Yeah, thanks so much for the update there, Vegas. So they are playing at Xavier tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah, it gets much tougher for Providence. That's... Yeah, so... Yeah, it wouldn't shock me now that if Xavier's favored. Because that's a road game for Providence at Xavier. $16 against 17. For some reason, I thought they... Because there's a couple teams inside the top 25. They played against Marquette before on the road. So Providence is already done with Marquette through their schedule. They've yet to touch Xavier yet. So they play their first game against Xavier tomorrow. And then later in the season, they host Xavier. Steve, welcome to the stream. Taking IU in this one. Massive game for the bubble currently in the Big Ten. Northwestern up over Iowa 30-26 right now. We'll keep you guys posted throughout the scores tonight. Back to the time after the timeout. 6.5 left to go before halftime. Indiana with the basketball. Tamar Bates moves it out to his right to Jalen Hood-Schifino. Dribbles up to the free throw circle. Pass off to a backdoor cutter, but intercepted in the key by Maryland by Jameer Young. Young moves it out to the wing. 3 in the air. Missed around the rim and out by Scott. Whole building would have erupted right there if Scott made the 3. Made one a couple minutes ago before that timeout. Bounce pass inside the key. Floats up the shot. No good. Between a crowd of defenders, it drops in. That's how good number 23 is. And red and white for Indiana. Trace Jackson Davis. Offensive rebound with multiple players inside the key going up for it. Put back and he scores through for 2. 26-23 IU. 5:44 left to go with a reach and fall picked up in the court by Indiana. Trace Jackson Davis right now, 6 points and 8 rebounds. Last 5 games, an absolute baller, averaging 25, 13, and 4, along with 4 blocks per game. Maryland gets the inbounds. Bounce pass over to Reese. Hands it off to Hart towards his left around the perimeter. Hart slides it over to Scott. Scott at the right wing. 8 on the shot clock. Passes backwards. Over to Jameer Young. Young, dribble drive right down the lane inside. Goes in for the layup. Got fouled. So 2 free throws coming up at the line now by Jameer Young with 5:26 left in the first. And they'll call it a shooting foul on Caleb Banks, his second personal. Bryce, welcome on back, bud. First free throw, and that is good. Second shot by Jameer Young, and that one goes through. 1 point game with 5:26 left in the first. Indiana pass midcourt with Trey Galloway. Galloway moves it out to his right to Jalen Hood-Schifino. Back outside, it will go to Miller Kopp. They work their way to the free throw circle. Jackson Davis lob down low, and a major rejection from behind. Maryland comes up with a block denying Race Thompson at the rim. Hoosiers have it back as Thompson tried to lay it up between a crowd of defenders. He had possession for a moment, and Maryland closed in. Corner three by the Terps. Missed off the rim short by Hakeem Hart. A lot of threes by Maryland here in the first half. Haven't shot the ball efficient. They made a couple of them, though, lately. Lob to the low block. Out to the top off the fingertips, though, and it goes out of bounds. Hood-Schifino tried to corral it in. Couldn't get to it, though. Race Thompson rushed in the pass. That's an Indiana turnover. Yeah, massive game on Saturday there. Indiana and Purdue. If they could put Zach Edey into foul trouble, that's how you're able to take out Purdue in that matchup. So a lot of teams have been scared to drive into the paint against Purdue because Edey's just so tall. He'll block a lot of shots. They had free throws that trip of the line. Indiana just picked up their 7. Dante Scott makes both the free throws, so Maryland takes the lead now 27-26. 4:20 left to go before halftime. This game has had 5 ties, 4 lead changes, largest lead, Indiana by 7. Jackson Davis, pivot move, double teamed at the low block. And we have a whistle here. Maryland fans looking for a travel. They will get called, though, in a reach-and foul. That will be Maryland's 4th personal foul as a team. That will be picked up by Joanne Reese. Joe, welcome in. Inbound for Indiana. Jackson Davis receives it at the elbow. Backs his way. Low block on Reese. Draws a double team. Jackson Davis shovels off the fingertips out of bounds. Looking for Race Thompson. And it goes out of bounds. Race Thompson struggling so far in this game. A couple turnovers for him, just in and off the hands. Wasn't the most precise pass by Jackson Davis as it sailed wide of Race Thompson down low trying to cut baseline to the hoop. 4 turnovers by Indiana. Maryland, so far tonight, they have been flawless. No turnovers by the Terps, playing as close as perfect basketball as you can on their home floor so far. Inside a key for Maryland. Pro hop. Kick out to the corner. Open 3 in the air. That is a make by Ian Martinez from downtown. Now the 3 is starting to drop for the Terps. 3.5 left to go before halftime. 7-zip run by Maryland. Last 2.5 minutes. Able to cross midcourt now for Indiana. Receiving it at the top of the key. Jalen Hood-Schifino lobs it over to Jackson Davis, working on Reese. Trace backs his way. Low block. Swings it out to the wing off the fingertips. Hood-Schifino gets it back, though. Moves it on top. Off to Galloway. Galloway drives. Low block. Turnaround. Got it blocked. Goes right back to Jackson Davis. Floats up the shot. It did not hit the rim. Buzzer went off. That'll be a shot clock violation by Indiana. Whole crowd goes wild right now here at College Park as Maryland soaring back as they took the lead. And right now they're up by 4. 3:02 left to go as we will take a timeout on the court right now. 30-26 as all the momentum has gone to the Terp side in this one. Yeah, great game so far we have got here. If you guys are new in the stream, make sure to hit the thumbs up, spike the like, hit the subscribe. Hit us up in the chat who you guys are rooting for tonight in this game, who you got Indiana or Maryland. Jameer Young, great start for him. 12 points, 4 for 6 shooting from the floor. The thing that sticks out, though, 0 turnovers right now for the Terps. That is impressive. This has been a pretty good game in terms of pace between these two teams. Maryland struggling with the three. They've been launching a ton of threes, though. 4 of 15 from three-point range in this first half. Indiana strictly going with more of the paint points tonight. Trace Jackson Davis already up to double-digit rebounds, 6 points, 10 boards by Trace Jackson Davis so far. Also the top scorer with 6. As they've been able to balance out their points pretty evenly throughout the lineup. 5 points by Miller Kopp and then 4 each by Race Thompson and Malik Renault. Hey, there you go. Big win for your Fighting Illini there, looks like, for Joe. Yep, took down Nebraska 72-56. Duke squeaking out a win over Wake Forest. That was close. 75-73, Duke winning. Arkansas won against Texas A&M in the game before this one, 81-70. Miami putting up a 90 burger on Virginia Tech today as Miami wins 92-83. BC upset win over Clemson, 62-54 for Boston College. The game's currently going on right now. Kansas leading K-State, 8.5 left to go in the second, 74-61 Kansas. TCU up at the half against West Virginia, 36-34. Alabama shredding Vanderbilt tonight for their bounce-back game, 59-28 Bama. Massive game for the bubble currently in the Big Ten. Northwestern leading Iowa. Final minute before halftime, 39-36. What's good, Ward? Welcome to the stream, bud. Hope all is going well, man. Yeah, a lot of sorting out has to be done between these conferences right now. Northwestern, a team on the bubble. Same as Iowa. Kentucky, all you can do is move upwards. You have to take care of business tonight. Despite it being a road game at Ole Miss, you still have to win that game. And right now, Kentucky only up by 4. 39-35 the score as they're on the road at Ole Miss. But I got Philadelphia to win the Super Bowl. Yeah, right there, truly, for Joe putting it spot on. I did not expect both of those teams to be in the bracket this year, Northwestern and Penn State. We come back from the timeout right now, 4-point lead for Maryland. Penn State jacks up a bunch of threes. Their game is basically if they can make 3-point games. I think they're like top 5 in the nation in 3-point makes per games this season for Penn State. Down inside the low post, turn around, skipped around the rim and out, missed shot inside the key by Dante Scott. Indiana comes out with the ball. 2.5 left to go, down by 4 for the Hoosiers. Floats up the runner inside the key, rolled around the rim and out, missed by Hood Schifino. Offensive rebound for a second. Renault, though, couldn't track it down entirely as we get a whistle here and a foul. And that'll be picked up on the offense by Malik Renault, and that's his second. Yeah, that was pretty bad. Pretty bad officiating in that game. I've noticed it more and more. Not only is it the NFL, also like the NBA and college for basketball. The officiating's been terrible lately. So that's on a loose ball fall that Indiana's already picked up their 8th as a team. So this will send Ian Martinez to the 1-1 bonus at the free throw line now for Maryland. First free throw he makes. Second shot's good. 2.5 left to go before halftime now. Indiana has it the right wing. They'll skip past it to the left corner, trying to stay in bounds. They will. They throw it away, though. Turnover. Maryland comes up with a steal, racing ahead. Jameer Young blocked at the hoop. Huge rejection right there by Indiana. They go for an outlet pass. Tipped up, and we got a whistle. Race Thompson with a major rejection, as he denied Jameer Young on his attack right at the rim. Wow, Indiana called in a turnover up the floor. Maryland has it back here. So that's the call. Indiana was going quick up the floor, and they get called in the turnover. The referees just stopped all their momentum. Pass deflected off the inbound. It will stay Maryland basketball. Wow. Wow, so it was in the backcourt after the block. 2:09 left to go before halftime. Maryland gets the inbound with Jameer Young. 15 on the shot clock for Young. Young dribbles up into the key, drives, floats it up, and he will get fouled. Right into the cameraman goes Jameer Young as well, as he sailed right through. Ryan, welcome back in the stream, man. Yeah, certainly there's been a lot of problems with these refs lately. So 2 free throws now for Maryland. 2:01 left to go before half. Jameer Young shooting 2. First one missed. And substitution now for Indiana, number 32. Trey Galloway will check out of the game now. Tamar Bates back onto the floor. Second free throw, and that one goes right down the middle by Young. So Indiana going cold as of late. They had the lead, and Maryland puts themselves now on a 10-zip run in the last 4 minutes. Indiana stone cold lately. Trace Jackson Davis, top scorer, top rebounder for the Hoosiers. He's got 6 and 11 currently. Bounce pass over to TJD at the mid-block. Jackson Davis slides it out to the corner. Hood Shafino drives baseline to the low block. He works on Martinez, puts it up, and gets knocked down and fouled. And this will send Jalen Hood Shafino to the free throw line, shoot 2 for the Hoosiers. So 1:34 left to go before halftime now. Ian Martinez picks up his second. We'll see if Indiana can finally get some points on the board. UConn looking to close it out against DePaul, 80-66 right now. A game that certainly UConn needs to take. I'm kind of shocked that they're in the top 25 still. They get a losing record in Big East play. They're below Seton Hall and Creighton in the rankings. First free throw is good. So in the Big East standings, UConn is a worse conference record than Seton Hall and Seton Hall and Creighton, but still ranked up at number 24 currently. Second free throw missed off the back rim. Down to the final minute and a half left to go before halftime. Maryland has possession around the perimeter. Hakeem Hart dribbles towards his left, passes on top, off to Reese. Reese back to Hart, swings it out to the wing. Scott up fake now at the free throw circle. He is guarded by Miller Kopp. Backs his way to the elbow. We get a whistle. And a reach and foul by Miller Kopp. So bad time to commit a reach and foul. And that puts them right into the double bonus. That's number 10 now by Indiana. Maryland with just 5 personal fouls currently for their team. The first one's good. Yeah, say with me, man. They haven't played anybody good. They got crushed against UNC. And lost at Hofstra. But in terms of teams with quality, their schedule's so easy. Second free throw is good by Dante Scott. He's up to 9. Yeah, usually those type of teams, they get into the bracket around late February, early March. We've seen those teams before. Teams that play easy competition. Murray State, Wofford, they had to wait their time, and they don't get into the rankings until, like, late in the season. Like, I was shocked to see Charleston get into the rankings in early January for them. Like, you have to wait your time if you're, like, a mid-major like that. Down low, and we got a whistle here and a foul picked up on the floor. Maryland's heading back to the free throw line. It's Indiana's 11th personal foul now in the first half. Good thing that they're a deep team for the Hoosiers. They got 2 personal fouls each between Miller Kopp, Jalen Hood-Schifino, or he's got 1 actually. Trey Galloway's got 2, Malik Renault's got 2, and then Banks has got 2. And Trace Jackson Davis has 1 so far. All right, so we're going to take a timeout on the floor currently. 35-29, Maryland. 2 free throws coming up after the timeout in the double bonus. Yeah, Florida Atlantic, they played some major conference opponents at the early part of their schedule. They won at Florida for FAU. They lost at Ole Miss. They won at Florida. What's good, Woody? Welcome to Stream, man. Looks like that was a quick 30-second timeout. We got 40 plus watching right now. If you guys are new in the channel, hit the thumbs up, spike the like, hit the subscribe. I cover basketball action here on the channel, play-by-play, both of college hoops and also the NBA. And feel free to join us tomorrow night. I'll be covering Celtics against Nets tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. So if you guys enjoy basketball, feel free to subscribe here on the stream and ring the notification bell if you guys would like to come back as well. 2 free throws back from the timeout by Julian Reese from Maryland. The first one he makes. Yeah, I got them too. They lost by single digits against Gonzaga and Houston for Kent State. Saw they lost last week, but probably more like a blip on their schedule that they lost. Second free throw is good. They want to make the most out of their opportunities right now at the free throw line. Terps, 12 of 14 currently on free throws. 35 seconds left to go before halftime. Down by 8 for Indiana. They were up by 9. At one point early on in this game. Floats up the runner. Bates missed off the mark. Tipped off the glass. Fumble ball down the far side. Maryland able to save it for the defensive rebound near the scores table. And the Terps going into halftime with all the momentum. 5-game win streak for Indiana up in jeopardy right now. Maryland 11-1 in their home floor this season. In College Park. 10 seconds left to go. Terps with the ball at the edge of the midcourt logo. Jameer Young dribbles. Over to the left elbow now. Turns the corner, up fake, takes the jumper, 15-footer, air balls it at the buzzer. And we go into halftime and the score 37-29. Wow, he had a great shot right there off the up fake, but happened to airball it. And by the way, the numbers in the favor of Maryland this season, they are 13-0 when leading at halftime this season for the Terps. So 37-29 as we enter halftime right now. Trace Jackson Davis. I'd like to see him more aggressive in the second half for him. He's attempted 6 shots in that first half, 8 points, 11 rebounds. He's the top scorer, top rebounder, but I think they're going to go through him in the second half in this game. Also, not that aggressive from the perimeter. They only attempted 5 3-point shots for Indiana. If they want to crawl back in this game, look for IU to jack up more threes because Maryland came out. They were aggressive from 3. Just 4 for 15, though, from 3-point range. What happened to make them go ahead and take the lead was their defense started to limit Indiana, forcing turnovers. And by the way, Maryland's only shooting 37% in the first half, but no turnovers right now. No turnovers from Maryland. And then they've got 14 attempted free throws and made 12 of them so far for the Terps. So making the most out of their opportunities while limiting the mistakes in this game, and that has been key for Maryland so far. Yeah, same with me. I think Creighton's a team to watch out for because their key player, Ryan Kalkbrenner, I think he was sick for like 3 weeks for him. And now they're getting hot at the right time. Everybody's back. Everybody's healthy for Creighton. Yeah, that record's so misleading because over on KenPom, I believe they're ranked inside the top 10 in terms of like efficiency or so for KenPom. They also played one of the toughest schedules out of all teams in all of college basketball. Kansas looking to close out K-State 83-70 currently as Kansas leads at Fog Allen tonight. Alabama. Man, was that just a blip or what on Saturday? Getting crushed against Oklahoma. That team is back tonight, dominating their SEC schedule once again. Alabama, oh my gosh. Look at the score right now. 85-34. Alabama leading Vanderbilt 85-34 right now, with about 7 minutes left to go. The score was 40-12 with a minute left to go before halftime. They're just dominating the SEC schedule. Yes. I think definitely better talent. That's unbelievable. It's like they're playing like Mississippi Valley State tonight or something. 85-34 right there. You know, Division III colleges schedule D1 schools in like November to play games. They don't count towards the standings for a D3 school. They just count as exhibition. But for the D1 school, they actually count as like if they play them, it counts as like a quad 4 type of game for them. That's like the type of game that they have today. Yeah, one of the teams that I'm covering on Saturday for their college basketball game, they're a D3 school, and they played on the road against Bryant, a D1 school. And I think the final score was something like 120-28. Like, it's that type of score right there. Like, Providence doesn't play D3 schools. I'm trying to think about teams in the area or so for like men's basketball that plays like a D3 school. New Hampshire a couple years ago played my my alma mater that I went to at Curry at Division III, and New Hampshire beat Curry. I think the score was something like 96-29. Wasn't even close. But yeah, it's that type of game right there. 85-35 with 6.5 minutes left. Oh, man. Alabama destroying Vandy. Yeah, that's a game that Kentucky really needs. That would put Kentucky out of the bracket again, because right now they're bubble. I'm just going to check into the bracket. I know ESPN updated their bracket today. Yeah, Kentucky's in the last 4 in currently. So this is what we got, last 4 in, which I think Oklahoma is a dangerous team. Considering what they did against Alabama on Saturday, Oklahoma, one of the last 4 teams in right now in the bracket. West Virginia's got the last 4 byes for them, so they're above Oklahoma right now for West Virginia. West Virginia playing much better. Maryland's currently in the bracket, but they're one of the last 8 teams in the bracket right now. This is really going to have to sort out. Really has to sort out. There's teams dropping backwards that looks like they'll miss out. Ohio State, Wisconsin, and then Texas A&M. They were the first team out. That's a tough one today. They lost at Arkansas for Texas A&M, but this whole thing will have to sort out. Right now, the Mountain West specifically for them. Mountain West 3-bid conference currently. I don't know if they're going to get 3 bids, probably more so like 2, but this is what they got on currently. They got Utah State and Nevada just outside the bracket, and then after that, Boise State is on the bubble. And then San Diego State and New Mexico currently are in the bracket. So that's what they got. So that's going to have to sort out. That'll do it sorting out itself. And then, yeah, Wisconsin, Ohio State dropping. Arizona State had a great record a few weeks ago, but they have not been playing great basketball lately. This will be a really good play-in game right here. Pittsburgh and Penn State in the play-in against each other. That would be a nice play-in game right there. Also, we might be looking at a play-in game, putting in West Virginia against Kentucky in another play-in game. That would be wild. So if we could get like the 11 or 12 seed play-in games to be Penn State versus Pitt, and then West Virginia against Kentucky, that would be absolutely wild for those games. Yeah, Oklahoma's better than what their record shows. They almost beat Kansas, because I covered that game against Kansas a couple weeks ago. I think they led by like 12 points at one point, with about like 6 minutes left in the second half against Kansas. Kansas came back and won. Yeah, so the whole bracket will do it sorting out. I'm not even sure if Clemson will make it into the tournament. Today they lost against BC. We still got another second part of the ACC schedule to go. Somebody will miss the bracket. North Carolina, currently in number 8 seed. I'm going to read out their schedule. Just going to get a UNC schedule and see how tough it will be. Yeah, there's always like a team around now, like inside the top 25, that like misses out on the bracket. I just think Clemson's like the Minnesota Vikings of college basketball this year. They won a bunch of close games. It eventually is going to catch up to them. Really bad loss that will set them back. That's one more team in the top 25 next week. Now, if Maryland takes this, that certainly helps out for them to be back in the top 25. Let's see here. So this is North Carolina's upcoming schedule. Hosting Pitt tomorrow, at Duke on Saturday, at Wake Forest on Tuesday, hosting Clemson, hosting Miami, at NC State. So the next 6 games, they're playing against all teams either on the bubble or in the bracket. So only time will tell. Plus they got a game against Virginia later in the month of February. So only time will tell to sort out that ACC. Pitt on the bubble. Duke right now, I just saw that Duke's like a 5 seed according to ESPN, which is super high. Put that on upset alert right there. If they get matched up with a right 12, that can upset them. At Wake Forest currently out of the bracket, but they've upset teams in their home floor this season for Wake. And then hosting Clemson, hosting Miami, 2 teams that struggled on the road. I don't even know how Miami's ranked anymore, honestly. And then at NC State. It's been a tough place to play this year. NC State's low-key doing really well this season. Right now in the Big Ten, Northwestern up over Iowa 46-42. That's a game between 2 teams in the bubble currently. TCU taking care of business against West Virginia right now, 42-36. West Virginia currently in the bubble. That's a TCU home game, though. And they're without Mike Miles, so that's impressive tonight for TCU. I think he got injured in the first 4 minutes against Mississippi State on Saturday. I'm not panicking about that TCU team. You look at that loss. On paper, it looks like a terrible loss at Mississippi State because Mississippi State at the bottom of the SEC, but in terms of bad losses, really not. They were without Eddie Lampkin on Saturday, and then Mike Miles, top scorer, got injured in the early stage of that game. So basically, what your whole game plan surrounds with Mike Miles for him to be out. Um, they were resilient to come back and force overtime in that game against Mississippi State. It speaks in terms missing 2 players, how good of a team TCU is this season on a road game for them on Saturday. So yeah, not concerned about them at all. I think they're slept upon right now by a lot of teams. Right now they're like a mid-pack team in the Big 12. So many teams inside the top 15 in the Big 12, and they're the team that's, out of all the ranked teams, they're the worst ranked team currently. K-State at 7, Kansas at 8, Texas at 10, Baylor at 11, Iowa State at 13, which will drop back, and then TCU at 15 right now, which they got experience. So that's a team I'm really keeping my eye upon, because once the tournament happens, a lot of the referees allow tournament basketball to play physical, which that's all TCU right there. Super physical. Great offensive rebounding type of team. Yeah, Eddie Lampkin, he's an absolute monster. I think he's like 6'11", 300 pounds. They were missing Lampkin and Miles that last game. Yeah, Alabama's beat some really good teams. I think the way that they've been dominant this year, but also I don't think the SEC is up to par in terms of like the Big 12. The Big East certainly is really good this year. Actually, I think the Big 10 is slept upon this season. I think there's a lot of good basketball in the Big 10 that's being slept upon right now. Because this Maryland team, I actually got to see Maryland in person at Mohegan Sun, and they blew the wheels off of Miami. And that's like a mid-upper pack team in the conference for Maryland right now. They're at 500 in the Big Ten against Miami, an upper-tier team in the ACC. And yeah, ACC's just got a down year this year. Probably won't have any of those teams far in my bracket. Yeah, A10 is having a down season. Right now, I think it's St. Louis, the best team in the conference. It's been VCU throughout most of this season. But yeah, it's been just up and down, every single team. That's just shocking. Loyola Chicago, yeah, it's just been odd seeing them at the bottom. And growing up watching Providence and URI basketball, since I was little, I thought this year at least URI would do something. Like, they're at the very bottom with Loyola Chicago in the A10 this year. Yeah, I don't think the A10 does anything in the bracket. We've seen them before bring in like 2 or 3 teams into the bracket. Looks like they go one team, looks like they go one and done in the bracket. I don't see any upset happening. Wherever that A10 team is, it's probably going to be like a 13 or a 14 seed this year. Not doing anything. That's bad. Lost against Fordham. Yeah, wow, they lost by 10 at Fordham. Which Fordham's not a laughingstock anymore. Fordham has put together a couple good seasons in terms of their program last few years. Yeah, I saw Oral Roberts against Duke in the ESPN bracket today as the 12 versus 5. Oh, man. Duke better be ready to shoot their threes against Oral Roberts, because Oral Roberts, what they're going to do, they're going to try to score circles all around you. That's going to be an interesting matchup. Oral Roberts can score buckets. Max Asmus is still playing on Oral Roberts. Yeah, that's the 12 versus 5 matchup right now. Oral Roberts versus Duke. So we start off the second half. Maryland jumper to elbow, missed off the rim by the Terps. They get the offensive rebound back, but got stripped. Indiana comes back with the basketball. Hoosiers now first possession of the second half. Up the floor, they lob it over to Trace Jackson Davis. 6 attempted shots in the first half. Goes aggressive for the first one. Missed over the rim. Offensive rebound, Thompson. Pivot move. Puts it up and scores. Through for 2. So Trace able to be aggressive here in half number 2. Took the first shot of the second half right now. Race Thompson able to get the board in the second chance basket as he's up to now 6 points by Race Thompson. First minute through the second. Maryland with the ball, handoff around the perimeter. Jameer Young takes the jumper, deep 2 by Young, missed off the rim. A rebound control by Race Thompson for Indiana. So he's looking for a much better second half. 6 turnovers by the Hoosiers, 0 by Maryland in half 1. Jackson Davis inside, missed it again. Thompson, second chance, puts it up and scores. Same exact scenario as the last bucket. Count it in the foul. Race Thompson, one shot coming up at the free throw line. Trace Jackson Davis missing over the rim on his last 2 shots, but Thompson going from the right side, whereas Jackson Davis attacking the weak side to the hoop. And Race Thompson off the glass scores plus the contact. And the free throw is good. Cuts it to a 3-point game right now. I think that's Creighton. Creighton with Kalkbrenner back. They've been on a roll lately. 18.5 left to go. I think Marquette is slept on a lot of people's brackets. This season seems much, much more different for Shaka Smart. This team can go far for Marquette. They're one of the top scoring teams in the nation for their team. Maryland commits the turnover. That's their first turnover to game inside the key. We'll go back to Indiana. Full court pressure being brought by Maryland here. Indiana able to cross midcourt, though, with Trey Galloway. Galloway moves it out to the baseline off to Thompson. Thompson lobs it down, low block to Jackson Davis. Bounce pass off to a cutter. Poor decision. And it goes right back over to Maryland here with a steal. Missing the layup down low. Battle for the rebound put up by Jackson Davis. Oh, yeah, my bad. I read that wrong, actually. Yeah, so that makes more sense. Lob out to the baseline. They move it out to the 3 and the wing. No good off the mark. A rebound pulled down by Maryland. I think a team like either Northwestern or Penn State for those two teams. Penn State can heat up and make their threes for them. And Northwestern, I didn't think they'd be apart, like anywhere close to the bracket for them, losing some key players in the offseason. So kudos to Northwestern this year. Jackson Davis down low, drawing the foul. And Jackson Davis will shoot 2 at the free throw line. There's somebody by the name of Grant Nelson who dropped 36 for North Dakota State. That was on Friday night. The first free throw, though, missed by Indiana. Second shot coming up at the line for Trace Jackson Davis. Just 70% this season at the free throw line. Makes the second one, though. So being much more aggressive here in the second half. It's up to now 9 points, 12 rebounds for Trace. Jameer Young moves it back around the perimeter over to Batchelor. Bounce pass top of the free throw circle for Maryland into the hands to Dante Scott. Hands it off to Hakeem Hart. Hart moves it out to his right, up fake around the perimeter. Scott takes it down low. Scott zips it through. That's good for 2 with a tumble. No call by the referees right there, but that's a big-time bucket by Dante Scott. That gets the crowd going. He's up to 11 now for the Terps. 16:35 left to play. Indiana takes it past midcourt, past the Maryland full court pressure. Hoosiers will slow it down with Hood Shafino. He's only scored 1 point, 0 for 4 shooting tonight. Off game by Jalen Hood-Schifino. Jackson Davis backs his way. Low post, puts it up and draws another foul. Back to the free throw line, being much more aggressive in half number 2 for Trace Jackson Davis as he targets number 10, Julian Reese of Maryland. And that is now Reese's 3rd personal foul. So this game's starting to get intense right now. Trace Jackson Davis looking to see if he can get his team right back into this game. And the first one's good. So double-double now for Trace Jackson Davis. 10 points, 13 rebounds. Second free throw right through. 2-point game. Indiana right back in this one. 16-15 left to go. Maryland crosses midcourt with Young. Hand off to Scott. Back into the hands of Young at the Maryland logo. Dribbles, drives down the lane inside, and we'll have a foul picked up from behind, charged to Indiana. Game clock will stop with 16:03. Hey, enjoy the rest of your night, Bryce. Been a great game tonight. They're going to say non-shooting foul, so this will be Maryland inbound. Terps get the inbound, 16 minutes even. And they get called in the turnover around the perimeter, so it'll go right back to the Hoosiers. Also just ended that poll. Thanks so much all for voting in that poll. Wow, Indiana took the poll by far tonight. Maryland 11-1 in their home floor. Indiana 5 straight wins in a row. Here's a steal by Maryland. Jumping the root, picking it off. Hard foul. And 2 free throws coming up for the Terps. Ian Martinez. Incredible anticipation. Jumps the root, picks off the pass. As we head to a timeout on the floor first before the free throws. Media timeout. 15:49 left to go. Indiana. One thing that's letting them down tonight's been the turnovers. Maryland's done a great job taking care of the basketball all night long. Happens to be their 8th turnover to game, though, for IU. Maryland with just 2. Alright, so if you guys are new in the stream, hit the thumbs up, spike the like, hit the subscribe. I cover basketball action here on the channel, play-by-play, both of college hoops and NBA games here on the stream, and glad to have you guys on board. Uncle Pizzle, welcome back in, man. Glad to have you back in. Wow. Incredible. It's awesome. Lakers against Knicks tonight in a massive game. And LeBron for the win. Hey, I'll see you back tomorrow, Alex. Close game between Iowa and Northwestern right now for the bubble. 55-54, Iowa leading with over 11 minutes left to play in that game currently. Kentucky also in the bubble right now, only up by 1 against Ole Miss. Score in that game, 38-37 Kentucky. TCU out in control against West Virginia right now, 49-40. TCU and Boise State, another team in the bubble. And they are tied up at Air Force 45-45. What's good? The Talk to You show. Welcome in. Taking Indiana in this one. I took the Hoosiers as well. Fred, welcome in the stream. Hey, happy birthday right there to Uncle Pizzle's son. Looking like he could be the next Jared Allen there, though. Oh, man, gonna Gonna have to work on his hoop skills. Get him away from the box and working his hoop skills out there in the UK for you. If you guys are new in the channel, hit the thumbs up, spike the like, hit the subscribe here. I cover basketball action here on the channel, play-by-play, both college hoops and NBA. Feel free to join in tomorrow. I'll be covering Celtics against Nets at 7:30. A really good game going on here. Trace Jackson Davis starting to be much more aggressive in the second half. He attempted just 6 shot attempts in the first half, up to a double-double now, 11 points, 13 rebounds. Race Thompson with 9. He got 2 key putback points there, or 2 key putback shots in the early stage of the second. And then 2 players double figures for Maryland right now, 13 by Jameer Young, 11 by Dante Scott. Gonzaga just doesn't really have a proven point guard this season for them. And, yeah, they're not as strong as years past for Gonzaga. They had a 75-game home winning streak snapped against Loyola Marymount. Yeah, I don't think they're going to go too far in the bracket. Last year, they lost against Arkansas because of physicality. So, all you throw up against Gonzaga, just big bodies being physical. And they play against a WCC schedule that doesn't really prepare them for that. Just show them bodies and just run them out of the gym at that type of game. They haven't been as efficient from the perimeter in terms of how they've been in the past. This year, the guard play has struggled for Gonzaga. So hard to follow before the timeout. Ian Martinez at the free throw line makes them both 41-37. Plus Maryland will get the inbound. So that was a hard fall before the timeout picked up by Indiana. Maryland gets the inbound. 15:45 left to go. The pass goes out to Hakeem Hart. Moves the route, the perimeter to Young. They'll take a 3 straight away. Missed off the mark. Offensive rebound, though, underneath. And they put it up and threw off the putback. It's Julian Reese for 2. So Maryland starting to go on a run after the timeout now. 4-zip run for the Terps. 15:20 remaining. I got Philly in the Super Bowl. At the baseline, Race Thompson. Thompson double teamed as Indiana tries to force a tie-up. It goes out of bounds. Or no, Indiana took a timeout before. So Indiana close to the baseline, almost out of bounds, but they will burn a timeout as they were trapped off a double team. 15:13 left to go. Hoosiers burn a timeout right now. So back to the timeout slide we go. Yeah, that's a really good one. With Luka or Giannis, because they got 2 completely different styles. I'd say the more dominant player would be Giannis, but in terms of involvement on in the offense, that would be Luka or so with his offensive usage. Whereas, the all-around player would be Giannis because of his defense. Yeah, this game's been all runs tonight. Right now, Iowa leading Northwestern 61-56. That's a massive game because both of those teams on the bubble. Kentucky looking to take care of business at Ole Miss tonight. 43-37, about 15 minutes left to go. It's Kentucky leads by 6. And TCU right now up over West Virginia 53-45. So that's games that we got currently going on right now in the timeout. Yeah, definitely there, Vegas. Yep, I'm glad that that game isn't until February. Yeah, TCU's been good at their home floor this year. And they're missing 2 key players as well. So that's impressive by TCU, what they've done tonight. So Mike Miles, their top scorer, not playing tonight, and also Eddie Lampkin. Eddie Lampkin is playing tonight, but he's coming off the bench. Did not play in the last game, but he's playing tonight. But Mike Miles is not playing tonight for TCU. We get back to action. Indiana missed a jumper. Rebound goes back to Maryland, back from the timeout. 15 minutes left to go. Terps have it. Jameer Young attacks inside the paint, goes back door, missed the layup. Good contest there by the Hoosiers. Pass midcourt now for Indiana. Jalen Hood-Schifino lobs it off to Jackson Davis. Pass out to the corner. Into the hands to Kopp. They move it back out to the top of the key to Hood-Schifino. Takes the jumper deep two. Off the back rim, missed. Rebound secured by Maryland. Jalen Hood-Schifino struggling tonight in this game. Yet to make a field goal, 0 for 7 from the floor. Young sends it out to the left wing off to Hart. Bounce pass. Goes over to Scott. Scott double-teamed, gets it away to the perimeter. Nice pass, fires in the fastball to the right wing. Attacks right to the rim. Missed the layup, though, by Reese of Maryland. Rebound snatched away by Indiana by Jackson Davis. 11 points, 14 boards now by Trace. They dribble up to the low block with Hood-Schifino. Puts up the shot, but he's going to get called in the turnover. So wasn't incomplete control there with the basketball by Jalen Hood-Schifino. That's a travel. And it'll go right back over to Maryland. 10th turnover to game by Indiana, really crushing their opportunities. Maryland doing a great job limiting the turnovers with just 3 tonight. 6-point lead for the Terps, and they get the basketball. 14 minutes left to go. Maryland at the right wing perimeter. Jameer Young sends it out to the left wing off to Hart. Back to the top, off to Martinez. Reese now has it. Hand off to Hart. Back outside, it goes to Scott. They're going to slow it down with 5 in the shot clock. Off to Young. Rises up for the 3 at the wing. Missed off the backboard, no good. Rebound control by Indiana by Malik Renaud. Bates makes the pass, tipped out of bounds. And it's last touch by the Terps. So Indiana still hanging along right now with 13:36 left to go. We've got a substitution right now. Maryland will have a player check out. It's number 24, Dante Scott, who comes out of the game right now for the Terps. So they bring in number 15, Patrick Emelian, for the first time tonight. And another whistle picked up on the fall by Maryland. So that's now number 6 as a team in the second half. The tables have completely turned. Indiana committed 11 personal fouls in the first half, only 2 now in the second half. And Ian Martinez has to head towards the bench now, picks up his 4th. So Maryland's starting to get into foul trouble at the moment. Martinez just picked up number 4. And as a team, they got 6 here in the second half for Maryland. Inbound for Indiana. Bates at the right corner. Bates, jab step, takes the jumper, baseline J, skipped around the rim and out. Defensive rebound pulled down by Reese of Maryland. 13:20 left to go. Terps will slow it down. Jameer Young sends it outside to Hart. Hart at the wing, drives, has a pathway, puts it up, blocked from behind. It will be a shooting foul. 2 free throws coming up by Hakeem Hart of Maryland at the free throw line. Yeah, they've been playing really well this year for Tennessee. I think they got like the best defense in college basketball this season. Miller Kopp picks up his 3rd personal foul for Indiana. So 2 free throws now by Hakeem Hart. First one is good. Second shot, right down the middle, make by Hart. 8-point lead, approaching the 13-minute mark left to go. Hakeem Hart, perfect at the free throw line. Maryland doing a great job tonight. The charity stripe, 15 of 17 as a team. Renault dribbles up into the key, spin move on, nice move with the right hand, finishes right at the rim, and he scores with a right-handed layup. Malik Renault inside a key for 2. Hart slides it outside to Emilian. At the left wing goes to Carey. Back into the hands to Jameer Young. Hand off on the outside. Carey takes the 3. That is well left of the rim, and that's an air ball out of bounds by Carey. A tough shot right there. Contested 3. Straight away, and Donald Carey just misses wide left. Substitution now for Maryland. Jameer Young will check out of the game. He's towards the bench now for Young. Inbound for Indiana. 12.5 left to go for the Hoosiers. Top of the free throw circle, Jackson Davis. Hands it off to Hood Schifino. Turns the corner, puts up the shot, gets blocked. Just not his game tonight for Jalen Hood Schifino. Great defensive stop right there by Patrick Emilian coming up with a block. Got some quality minutes as of late. Bounce pass over to the elbow. Ball poke loose out of bounds. It will stay Maryland basketball. And a timeout taken on the floor. 12 minutes left to go. Maryland holding on to a 6-point lead right now at home. Sensi, welcome to the stream. If you guys are new in the channel, hit the thumbs up, spike the like, hit the subscribe as we take the timeout currently. Wow, this Alabama pulling out their largest victory ever in SEC play tonight as Alabama crushes Vanderbilt 101-44. Mario, welcome back in. TCU up over West Virginia, 59-51, approaching 6 minutes left to go. Kentucky extending the lead by 7 against Ole Miss currently, 50-43 for Big Blue, and a big matchup between Iowa and Northwestern. Iowa leading by 6, 67-61 over Northwestern. Yeah, they've been pretty good this season from 3, so I'm kind of shocked that they haven't been aggressive from the perimeter in this game right now for Indiana. Only 6 attempted threes the entire game. Maryland's come out, they've been aggressive right from the get-go. They're only 4 for 18 from three-point range, but getting to the free throw line has been a big key for them and making the most out of their opportunities tonight for Indiana. 17-19 at the free throw line. Yeah, so this game has come down to basically like free throws and then turnovers. It's been a major issue tonight for Indiana. 9 turnovers, and they just cannot force a turnover for Maryland. Maryland's got just 3 total turnovers tonight. Andrew, welcome in. Thanks so much for joining in, man. I'll be back on tomorrow. Celtics against Nets at 7:30. All right, so 6-point game. 11:58 left to play now. Quick update on the foul trouble right now. 3 personal fouls by Miller Kopp and Trey Galloway for Indiana. 4 personal fouls by Ian Martinez from Maryland. Maryland will get the inbound underneath their hoop. Jameer Young, Donald Carey, Patrick Emilion, Hakeem Hart, and Dante Scott. That's the 5 currently on the floor for Maryland back from the timeout. Hand off to the top. Hart dribbles towards his right. Swings it out to Scott. 12 on the shot clock. Scott at the top of the key for Maryland. Crossover. Dribbles into the key now. Scott lost it. Gets it back. Pass out to the wing. Up fake. Young takes the 3 with 3 in the shot clock. Swoosh. That's a make there from downtown and puts it to a 9-point lead. Jameer Young's up to 16. He's made his 3rd 3 tonight. He's been the key player tonight for Maryland in this game, part of a 9-2 run for the Terps. In the last 5 minutes, Jackson Davis. Hand off to Galloway at the elbow. Swings it outside to Bates. Bounce pass down at the elbow to Jackson Davis. Gets it away. Here's a 3 by Kopp. Missed off the front rim, and the rebound hauled down by Maryland. That's Scott who comes out with a big defensive rebound. 11 minutes left to go. Terps will slow it down. Jameer Young. Edge of the logo. Has it back from Scott. Passes off to Scott once again at the top. 8 on the shot clock for Maryland. Scott. Crossover. Spin move right down the lane. Dump off down low. They put it up, and they'll draw the blocking foul. 2 free throws coming up at the line for the Terps now with the clock stopping with 10:37. Getting aggressive, attacking to the rim. Malik Renaud just picked up his 4th personal foul now. And the first one's good. So substitution now. Race Thompson will check back into the game for Indiana, as they will have Renaud take a seat with number 4 on the bench. And Jalen Hood-Schifino really struggling tonight, just 1 point, 0 for 9 shooting. Second free throw by Patrick Emilion, and he missed it. Maryland's got 6 personal fouls as a team. Indiana's got 5 right now. Hood-Schifino gives it off to Bates. So they will move it around the perimeter for Indiana. Down by 10, largest deficit. Passing out to the corner. Catching fire. 3 in the open. That's a make by Trey Galloway from the left corner. So that's only their 7th 3-point attempt of the game. Indiana has just not been aggressive from 3 tonight, but they got players that can make 3s. Left in the open. Trey Galloway, perfect 2 for 2. Splashes 1 through. 10 minutes left to go. 7-point game. Passing down low, as we have contact from behind, and a blocking foul picked up, so this will send Maryland back to the free throw line. 2 more shots coming up for the Terps. Yeah, thanks so much, C Dizzle. Glad to have you part of the stream here, bud. Hey, thanks so much for the update there, Vegas. So TCU on a roll right now by 11. No Mike Miles tonight. 1 under 4 left to play. That's a good win against West Virginia. First shot, it's good by Patrick Emilion. Trace Jackson Davis tonight, 11 points, 15 rebounds. Only player to reach double figures tonight for Indiana. 16 points by Jameer Young from Maryland, and Dante Scott's got 11 points. Second free throw missed by Emilian. 9:45 remaining. Indiana turns it over. Deflected around the perimeter. Maryland comes up with a steal as they will pass it down low, attacking right to the rim. Huge contact underneath, though. Tamar Bates will pick up the foul here on the floor as the clock will stop once again with under 10 minutes. So back to the free throw line from Maryland, up by 8. Tamar Bates picks up his third. Quick update right now on the foul trouble looks like this. Indiana in some deep foul trouble currently. The first one to make. And Indiana is a team 7 personal fouls, Maryland with 6. But 4 personal fouls by Trey Galloway for Indiana. 4 by Malik Renault, and 3 by Miller Kopp. Second free throw is good. 10-point lead for the Terps now. 9:40 left to go. 4 personal fouls by Ian Martinez from Maryland. Everybody else playing with either 2, 1, or 0 for the Terps. So not as much foul trouble there for Maryland compared to Indiana as the Hoosiers down by 10. Jackson Davis lost it around the perimeter. They are able to scoop it up, though, with Hood Schifino. Sends it off to Bates. Bates at the top, dribbles up to the free throw circle, takes the jumper, missed off the front rim, and the rebound controlled by Maryland. Approaching 9 minutes left to play. It's Maryland just taking over this game right now. Jameer Young backs his way mid-block. Young pivots, puts it up and through. That's good for 2. Jameer Young with a left hand up and in off the glass. Largest lead of the game here by 12 for Maryland. Statement tonight for the Terps is their record showing them why in their home floor, 11-1, and this offense just been on a grind tonight for Indiana. They float up the shot. It will be good. Down low, Miller Kopp gets it to go. Terps will slow it down with a 10-point lead. Hakeem Hart backs his way to the mid-block. Hart working on Kopp. Hart. Turned around, skipped around the rim and out. Jackson Davis comes out with a defensive rebound. 16th board of the game for Trace Jackson Davis. 8:15 left. At the elbow, Hood Schifino moves it cross-court, lob over to Jackson Davis. Backs his way, pivot move. Puts it up, missed off the mark, no good. Tapped out of bounds, last touch by Maryland. And that defense for Maryland playing in tough right now. For Trace Jackson Davis, currently top scorer, but held to just 4 for 9 shooting right now. Patrick Emilian giving some quality minutes from Maryland. He will check out of the game. Inbound for Indiana. The 3-point shot's long. Tipped up on the floor. Defensive rebound hauled in by Julian Reese. 8 minutes left to go. Terps will slow it down as they get the basketball. Top of the key with Young. Young dribbles up to the elbow. Swings it out to the top once again to Scott. Over to the wing. 3 taken by Young. Missed off the back rim. A long rebound controlled by Hood Schifino. Lost in that midcourt, though, as we will have a tie-up. And possession arrow goes back to Maryland. This is not a good sign right here. There's a Indiana player down on the floor right now. Number 12, Miller Kopp. He is injured face first on the hardwood underneath the hoop as he is just planted down on the floor. Injury timeout right now on the floor. That looks brutal. Miller Kopp. Looks like a face injury for Miller Kopp. He went down on the floor hard. They didn't show a replay of it, but they show Miller Kopp down on the floor face first as we have to cut to an injury timeout. 54-44 Maryland. And a defensive battle here. 7:34 left to go for the Terps leading. Man, this 10-point lead just seems like it's miles ahead right now. Maryland's up by 10 despite shooting 33% from the floor. They've taken care of the basketball all game long. And they're also -7 on the glass right now, 31-24 Indiana in the rebounding. But Maryland, the difference being turnovers tonight. 3 turnovers throughout this entire game by Maryland compared to 10 turnovers by Indiana right now. Some tough defense lately defending Trace Jackson Davis down inside. If you guys are new in the stream, hit the thumbs up, spike the like, hit the subscribe here. Hit us up in the chat who you've got in this game today, Maryland or Indiana. So we're on the injury timeouts. Ooh. Yeah, looks like to his face area, Miller Kopp sustained some pain. Let's see, Miller Kopp. He's away from the basketball. Ooh, somebody's hand. I think that was Joyan Reese. Just outstretched his hands. Or no, 24. Dante Scott. Yeah, Dante Scott was the one outstretched his hand. The hand went right into the face of Miller Kopp. Miller Kopp right now being checked out on the floor. Yeah, I'm probably going to go with 7 for the Big Ten. So there's still a lot of sorting out to do in the conference. Right now I saw they got 9 teams in the bracket. Probably leaning more towards 7. Okay, so the referee is just discussing this last foul. Picked up, I believe it was on Hakeem Hart, as he was moving up the floor back into transition. His outstretched hand caught the face of Miller Kopp, and then Miller Kopp went face first down to the court. Yeah, he's got a red eye. His one of his eyes, his left eye is completely red right now from Miller Kopp. So Miller Kopp, tough player, going to stay in the game right now. Former player from Northwestern, transferred over to Indiana. Lob too tall for Jackson Davis. Able to snag it, though, as he has possession at the hoop. Couldn't finish. Offensive rebound. Second chance, Jackson Davis. Missed it again. Third chance, though. Dunks it down. Took him 3 times, but able to get the putback dunk by Trace Jackson Davis. Relentless. 7:10 left to go now. 8-point game. Miller Kopp is on the floor with one of his eyes. His left eye is red. Donald Carey Swings it on top to Jameer Young. Young passes out to his left to Scott. Scott puts the ball into the hands to Carey. Carey at the left wing, bounce past Scott now. 5 in the shot clock for Maryland. Scott dribbles back out to the perimeter, crossover. Takes the deep 2. Skipped around the rim, rattles out. Jackson Davis with a defensive rebound. Hood Schifino yet to make a field goal tonight from the floor. He's 0 for 9 shooting. He'll attack, floats up the runner. Missed off the back rim. He's 0 for 10. Tapped out of bounds. And this last touch by Maryland. So this will stay. Indiana ball now with 6:34 left to play. 50+ watching. If you guys are new in the stream, hit the thumbs up, spike the like, hit the subscribe. I cover basketball action here on the channel, play-by-play, both NBA and college hoops as well. Jackson Davis, double-teamed. Moves it outside to Hood Schifino, makes the pass to Bates. Over to the wing to Kopp. Kopp drives inside, floats up the shot, missed off the back rim, knocked out of bounds in this last touch by Indiana. Maryland playing stout defense all game long. Really, really tough on Indiana inside the key. And Indiana just hasn't been aggressive from 3 tonight in this game. Inside, up fake Young. His pass sails wide. It's out of bounds. So that's a rare Maryland miscue tonight. That's only their 4th turnover to game right now. Six minutes left to go. Indiana down by 8. Seems like they're miles down because of how low the score has been at this rate. Hood Schifino, yet the score, missed 10 shots from the floor. Bounce pass. Jackson Davis powers his way inside. Count the bucket in the foul. Trace Jackson Davis, 1 free throw coming up at the line with 5:55 left to play. That's a power move down the lane inside. And Hood Schifino, when he's not scoring tonight, has been able to do it through the playmaking in the last possession. That's assist number 3 in the night by Jalen Hood Schifino. Free throw is good by Jackson Davis. Cuts it to a 5-point game. 16 points, 20 rebounds right now by Trace Jackson Davis, having a monstrous game, keeping Indiana in there. 7-zip run by the Hoosiers. Hand off to Young, attacks inside the paint, dish out to the top, open 3, straight away Maryland. Missed off the back rim, no good. Rebound controlled by Indiana. Hood Schifino came up with a board. Hood Schifino still looking to score on a field goal. Hood Schifino drives inside the key, missed off the bottom right part of the backboard. Rebound back to the Terps. Maryland attacks inside the paint, rejected by the bottom part of the rim. They get the offensive rebound, blocked by Indiana. They will get it once again, though, for the Terps. Maryland will slow it down, up by 5. 15 in the shot clock. Hart at the elbow, backs his way on Kopp. Hart inside the key, shovels on top, up fake, bouncing bodies. Dante Scott rams right into an Indiana defender. And that's going to be called a reach-in by the Hoosiers. That's on Malo. He is Renault. He has fouled out of the game. So that's number 6 now for personal fouls picked up by Malik Renault. So this will send Maryland to the free throw line in the bonus. And a quick update, that last foul that Maryland picked up on the and one that Trace Jackson hit, that was actually Maryland's 7th. So Maryland with 7 personal fouls to the team, Indiana with 8 now. So Malik Renault going to have to sit on the bench for the remaining part of this game, as he is now out. He has just fouled out. So Renault has fouled out. First player to fall out tonight in the game. 4 personal fouls by Galloway for Indiana. And then for Maryland, 4 personal fouls by Ian Martinez. With the first free throw made by Maryland. Dante Scott, perfect 5 for 5 at the free throw line. It's been a clinic tonight by the Terps, shooting at the charity stripe. Second free throw by Scott, and gets the bounce. 22 of 26 tonight on free throws, above 84%. 5 minutes left to go. Pass midcourt for Indiana. 7-point game. Got to be urgent with the basketball here, and they look to slow down this possession. Lob to Jackson Davis at the free throw circle. Powers his way inside a low post. Turned it over, though. Stolen away by Scott. Maryland as the Terps have it back off the steal. That's the 12th turnover of the game by Indiana. Maryland with just 4 tonight. 4:30 left to go. Terps using clock. Crossover. Hart dribbles to the low block. Backs his way to the key. Swings it out to the wing to Young. Bounce pass. Back it goes to Hart. Hart mid-block. Outside back to Scott. Jab step around the perimeter. Dribbles up into the key. Dante Scott puts up the shot off the front rim miss. Gets his own rebound back. Floats it through. It's good for 2 with a putback by Dante Scott. 58-49. 11-1 this season at home. Indiana in trouble on this 5-game winning streak as Maryland's playing some of their best defense this season right here in this game. Lob to Jackson Davis. Jackson Davis at the free throw circle. Moves it back on top to Hood Schifino towards his right. Takes the 3. He makes it. Where was that earlier in the game? They're going to call it a 2, actually. His foot was on the 3-point line, so they call it a deep 2. 1 foot behind the arc. The other stepped on the perimeter line. So it's only a 2. It's 58-51. 3.5 left to go. Top of the key, Dante Scott towards his left. Hands it off to Hart around the outside. Swings it down low. Catches it. Young dribbles back out to the left corner. Young up fake. Young slides it out to his right. Takes a deep range 3. Missed off the rim by Scott. Tapped out of bounds off the rebound. Last touch by Indiana. It will stay Maryland ball with 3:09 left to go, and we'll take a media timeout on the floor. A lot of great hustle here by the Terps tonight. They've got 5 blocks as a team. Their defense, it has been a tough area for Indiana to try to see if they can score on in this game tonight here. 58-51 Maryland, 7-point lead with around 4 minutes left. Alright, so if you guys are new in the stream, hit the thumbs up, spike the like, hit the subscribe here. If you guys are new, first timers on the channel, I cover basketball action, both play-by-play of college hoops and NBA games. Wow, Iowa exploded. Iowa picks up the victory over Northwestern tonight, 86-70. TCU down to 15 seconds, about to win over West Virginia, 74-68. Kentucky winning in the final 2 minutes against Ole Miss, 71-58. Yeah, I was looking at the numbers of this Indiana team. Really good perimeter shooting team entering this matchup here this season, but where was that today? They're just not aggressive from 3. They don't got any guys in their team that can, make threes off the catch. Didn't have any of that today. They received the pass around the perimeter with some space, and they didn't bother shooting the threes tonight. Just 9 attempted threes throughout this entire game for Indiana. They made 3 of them. Maryland attempted 21. They made 5. Maryland came out, they were aggressive from 3. And then once they discovered that their threes weren't dropping, they got to the rim and put Indiana right into foul trouble. It's just been too predictable tonight in this game, especially in the second half. Just keep on going to Trace Jackson Davis as Maryland's kept on doubling Trace. And we see one of the plays that led to a turnover. Another time the ball deflected, went back around the outside. Lucky that they picked it up. And then another turnover as they doubled inside the low block. So, yeah, it's just been a nightmare tonight for Indiana. They've just not been able to adjust as Trace just keeps on getting doubled down low, and he's still the top scorer tonight. 16 points, 20 rebounds by Trace Jackson Davis. Everybody else just a no-show in this game. Jalen Hood-Schifino, 11 missed shots, 0 for 11 shooting tonight with just 1 point. And on the other side for Maryland, Jahmir Young, monster game. He has got 18.6 rebounds with 2 steals. And Dante Scott, he's had a solid night too. 15 points, 5 rebounds, perfect 6 for 6 at the free throw line. Free throws and turnovers, that's been the difference makers here for Maryland, plus their defense limiting Indiana to 37% shooting. Maryland winning this game as they pick up the jumper. It's good for 2. They're up by 9, despite shooting around 31% from the floor. 3 minutes left to go. Indiana not being urgent with the basketball. A lot of slow tempo right now for the Hoosiers, down by at least 3 possessions. Around the perimeter, Hood-Schifino is yet to even make a field goal. He'll take a jumper deep 2 and makes it 0 for 12. Missed off the back rim too strong. A rebound goes to Reese for the defense. Thanks so much for the update there, Vegas. So without Mike Miles tonight, top scorer for TCU. TCU gets it done either way, 76-72 over West Virginia. 2:20 left to go. Maryland with the ball. Maryland using clock. Top of the key, Jahmir Young makes the pass out to Scott. Into the hands now of Martinez. Martinez bounce past Scott at the left elbow. Working on Thompson. Backs his way inside the key. Dante Scott. Turn around. Gets the shot. That's good. Puts him up by 11. An impressive display by Maryland in this game. Defense limiting the turnovers. Getting to the free throw line. Down to the final 2 minutes. Indiana will keep on slowing it down, and they're just not aggressive. Miller Kopp. Bounce pass over to Jackson Davis. Double teamed. Jackson Davis backs his way into the key. Takes the jumper. Gets the friendly bounce. Just a one-man show tonight by Indiana. Trace Jackson Davis. 18 points, 20 rebounds. Can't do it himself. A lot of times he got double teamed in this game. 2 turnovers off the double team tonight in the key. Maryland has it, slowing it down. Minute 20. Bounce pass out to the left elbow. Terps with Scott. Backs his way on Kopp. Down to the mid-block. Inside the key. Looking for the pivot move once again. Oh, that's a beautiful step right there. Inside the low post. Up and under. Dante Scott off the pivot scores. And Maryland exploding here. Leading by 11. Final minute left to go. A no-show tonight by Indiana. And they lost it. Turnover for a moment. In and out of the hands, though, at the baseline of Indiana. Got touched last by Martinez. So it will stay Indiana ball. They lost it, and then Maryland touched it out at the baseline. Before I wrap up tonight, make sure to hit the thumbs up, spike the like, hit the subscribe. Watch out for Maryland in the tournament. 14-7 record, much better than what it indicates. I got to see this team in person at Mohegan Sun, and they slammed Miami. Right now, the rankings are all over the place. Miami, UConn, Auburn. Why are they in the top 25 with those 3 teams? The rankings are just all over the map right now. Maryland's going to be 15-7, be 6-5 in the Big Ten, but at least they're above 500 in the conference. That's the key. Whereas UConn entered today, they were below 500 out in the Big East. Calvin, welcome in. Thanks so much for joining in. Impressive game. So I saw them explode offensively against a team that couldn't defend, that played a small ball 4-guard lineup. Today they were minus on the glass, but this is their best defensive game all season long. Offensive rebound, missed off the rim, tipped out of bounds by Indiana, and it will go to Maryland here with 42 seconds. Wow. I haven't seen a team like this just be not aggressive from 3 the entire game. How could you not attempt multiple threes based on how they've been shooting the ball from the perimeter. Steal up ahead. Indiana scores in the dunk. 30 seconds left to go. Just 9 attempted three-point shots the entire game for Indiana. This is a team that is at the top of the conference in perimeter shooting. They attempted 9 3-point shots the whole game. Maryland, 5 of 22 from 3. I always like taking teams in the tournament that don't turn it over often. This one I'm going to make note of in my mind. 4 turnovers throughout the entire game tonight by Maryland. That's impressive. And shooting 85% at the free throw line off of 27 attempted free throws. They made 23 of those tonight at the free throw line. They just got good balance inside of their starting 5. They play well at home. And if they can turn it around on the road, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with in the tournament. Like, nobody's going to want to play Maryland. I think their seeding is like, I think it's like an 8 or a 7 right now. Much better than, playing much better than that seeding for them. And going up against an Indiana team that was red hot, they're going to snap the 5-game winning streak that Indiana had. So down to 16 seconds left to go. 19 points by Dante Scott, 18 by Jameer Young, and 10 and 11 tonight by Alex Reese. With the first free throw made at the line for the Terps. That is drilled by Jameer Young. Second one's good. Home court advantage been a major factor this year. Maryland will improve to 12-1 on their home floor. Been a big difference for this Terps team, getting hot at the right moments. 3-point shot missed by Indiana. That's only their 10th 3-point shot attempt of the entire game as this game goes final. Absolute perfection tonight by Kevin Willer's squad. Tremendous defense. 9th straight Big Ten home victory back to last season. That's a new school record here at College Park. Is their record much better than what it indicates right now? They improved to 15-7 overall in the season for the Terps. They pull out the victory by 11, 66-55 against an Indiana team that was rolling red hot coming into this game. And Maryland did it by getting to the free throw line, forcing turnovers, and taking care of the basketball. That was the big key. They got 5 total turnovers throughout the entire game tonight by Maryland. An absolute masterpiece tonight, pulling out the victory, holding Indiana to just 55. Thanks so much all for joining in. Feel free to join in tomorrow night. I'll be back covering Celtics against Nets around 7:30 p.m. Before I do wrap up, make sure to hit the thumbs up, spike the like, hit the subscribe. Thanks so much all for joining in, and we'll close out to the channel members here. All channel members get a shout out at the end of each and every single one of my live streams. We got Jason, Rajeep, Russell, Oreo Pudding, Bradley, Brandon, Mario, Bino, Mark, John, Kenneth, Jess, Ahino, Joseph, Vegas, HD Sports Talk, Michael, Warren, I Am Ghost, Kelly, Asia, Laszlo, Roderick, Reynaldo, Didi, Katie, Siegel, Woopig, Ian, Oink Oink, and Emmanuel. Thanks so much all for joining in, being a part here on the stream. Maryland comes up with a big win at home against Indiana. Final score 66-55. Thanks all for joining in, and enjoy the rest of your night.